And a thank to both of our witnesses for being here today. And Secretary Wilkie, I look forward to meeting with you to discuss the priorities we have for Arizona for the VA. And I'm really glad you're here before the committee so we can hear about the VA's work to address veteran suicide. As you know, the VA's national strategy for preventing veteran suicide states, we must go beyond engaging mental health providers to involve the broader community and reach veterans where they live and thrive before they reach a crisis point. And I couldn't agree more, which is why I authored the Sergeant Daniel Somers Network of Support Act. Sergeant Daniel Somers was an Army veteran who completed 2 tours in Iraq, participated in over 400 combat missions as a machine gunner in the turret of a Humvee. Like many veterans, Daniel suffered from nightmares, depression, and symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. Sadly, Daniel lost his life to suicide, and he became part of the reason we're having this hearing today. My bill, which was recently included in this year's National Defense Authorization Act, requires the Department of Defense to collect from new service members the names and contact information of loved ones that they consider to be members of their own personal support network. Using this information, the Department of Defense can provide information to those families and loved ones about available benefits and services. And members of this network of support are often the first in the line of defense to prevent suicide, and they are the best people to reach veterans where they live and where they thrive. So my first question for both of you is this something you believe the VA could benefit from in incorporating this program into its unit? And if yes, can I get your commitment to work with my office and my team to help develop this program for newly enrolled veterans after they disconnect from service?
I will, and I'm going to now put on my old hat as the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel. I talk a lot about culture. What you're doing is change. It's part of that change. It's no longer the 1940s version of military service. There are not tens of thousands of draftees coming into the pipeline so that people are more readily moved out. Mm-hmm. Family support is key. Having that information, I think, is vital. And I will do everything that I can to make that happen.
Yes, I also appreciate the question. I've also been working with the Somers for quite a few years. I worked on the DoD side and now on the VA side, and I'm so pleased that you were able to push that through. And I'm a bit embarrassed that it took a piece of congressional legislation to do it, because it is a very simple, common sense approach. And despite the fact that it seems so simple, it is actually also life-saving. And so just because a young man, like a young soldier like Daniel Somers, was over the age of 18, and you might think that his parents might not know or need to know, it's absolutely not the case. And so your legislation that pushes out proactive education and content to loved ones and family members of people that have served, and teaches them about signs and symptoms of suicide risk, post-traumatic stress, even just everyday coping skills. It's an important piece, and I'm very grateful that you did it, so thank you.
Well, we were looking forward to expanding this through the VA. So service members, from the time they start to the end of their natural lives, will be able to have this network of support and people who are ready and prepared to help them. So thank you.